Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Taking a look here at Aave. And if you are new to the channel, or perhaps you've been following me for a while, I do like to cover videos or coins, of course, make videos for coins that people request. Okay, so again, keep in mind, I'm not favoring any coin or the other. I really just prioritize those who have the most amount of requests. I'll have a few other videos out later today, of course, to summarize some other community request members, but just want to touch on this one because this was a bigger one since it is kind of pumping here today. I want to kind of touch on this. All right, so again, this is not financial advice. I just love teaching people to trade, so I hope you can learn something here today. Obviously, you want to become a better trader. CryptoCash.tech is the site. We have trading community, academy, and signals. We're sending out trade signals for day trades and swing trades, and we also can all learn and grow together. It's a phenomenal experience. Be sure to check that out. Link down below. Got a lot of new members coming over. Very well done on a lot of your trades. Awesome. We'll actually highlight that a little bit later in the video here. Actually, no. Why don't we do that right now? Look at some of these awesome trades here. Bitcoin shorts here recently, and of course, just a few longs as well prior to that. So I mean, there are some awesome, amazing traders here, and I really greatly appreciate everyone for just being an awesome part of my life. Thank you for that. So with Aave here, what we want to touch on is a couple of key factors. Okay, now the key factors here is that we have a massive pump here today, a lot of volume, most volume we've seen in quite a while. Now granted, this is just the Binance exchange, but it's a good baseline because they have a very large amount of volume here. And if we take a look at its history, anytime we see this kind of price spike, for example, let's go ahead and do this, we can see the price action will wick up aggressively, come right back down. There's rare occasions where the price will maintain and sustain itself for a short period and immediately sell off. But for the most part, anytime you see this large amount of volume, it's followed by a retracement. Okay, so again, I'm not second guessing this. I'm not saying it's not worthwhile, but just know in the back of your head that if you are invested in this coin here, you may want to consider taking some profits if you got a chance to buy that dip. Okay, try not to get super greedy, if you will, right? Again, could run, but that's just kind of something to help understand the general process here. Aave is very good at pumping and dumping and effectively just kind of getting back to where it started shortly before that. Okay, so that being said, let's go ahead and see what's going on with the charts, if this is sustainable or not. First of all, we just hit 70 on the RSI. That's typically a case in point where obviously the money flow is high. We should be rejecting off that level. We can see that pretty instantly here, where we got this most recent high right there about 69.50, holding the price action tentatively in place. We'll see if that holds or not. That should be a decent support level if the price bounces. If we lose that, we can expect the price to pull back a little bit further. MACD as well here, super strong convergence. Obviously, we know that the price is on the increase. Let's take a quick look at us here. Kind of, there we go. Moving averages. All right, so here's a 200-day simple moving average. What do you know? Coincidentally, right there at that $70 mark or 69.50. So again, another resistance level. So keep in mind, the 200-day SMA can be difficult to break through. We've had a few attempts here recently in the last couple of weeks, or more so a couple of months, and the price hasn't been able to break through that. So I would say if we close above the 200-day SMA today, then that's a pretty solid chance of being able to maintain this price point. If the price pulls back further, it would make much more sense to come down and bounce potentially off the 50-day simple moving average, somewhere in the range of, just say 50, 58, upwards of 65. Okay, again, I know that's a pretty large range, but this is a lot of volume in a short amount of time. Okay, so you got to recognize, the writing on the wall, if you will. So obviously, strong increase in about 12 hours, followed by an 8-hour decrease in value. Now, typically when these things happen, again, I'm just going to pull this up here really quick so you can kind of see the halfway mark, 0.5, $66, should be the case in point where the price will come back down to. It's very, very common for a retracement to come down 50% of its original starting point. So it pretty much started down here at about 55, came up to about 75. It should average itself out right in the middle, closer to that 60, 65 range. Okay. So again, just something to kind of think about here. It would make much more sense for the price to pull back to 65 than it would to be able to maintain this current price and continue higher. Don't get me wrong, I want Aave to succeed. It's actually a good coin. I've invested in the past. But I can tell you that with Bitcoin printing a head and shoulders pattern and Elliott wave all kind of telling us the price should pull back to at least 30,000, maybe 29, low 29 range, 29.1. There's a great chance we'll see Aave continue to retrace. Okay, keep that in mind. Just recognize that is a potential reality. That being said, let's take a look at the RSI. We can see we're coming back down to 70, more realistic area here. The price action should continue lower, but if we get a bounce off 70, then it'll maintain this price point. So again, one of those things where it'll either bounce here or continue lower. It seems pretty definitive that $70 is that important place to either close above, or if we close below, great chance we'll see the price coming down. And I do get the question a lot too, what does closing above or below mean? Well, if you referring mostly to the daily chart, and the daily chart is important because it's a full 24-hour period in that time frame. So if the daily can close at this level or higher, then we're going to be in pretty good shape because it really tells us that it was able to sustain that price point for an average of 24 hours. Inverse, of course, applies. It closes below that. Tentative resistance, again, we got the 200-day SMA right there at that level. It's important to recognize that a closure above the 70 or higher today would be really, really important. Because obviously, if we had enough volume here to sustain this, as you can see the volume starting to taper off, then we would be able to maintain this level. Okay? It's not staying, so with the volume disappearing, so to speak, the price is coming down. A lot of folks are taking the profit right now. Okay? So trying to be one of those folks that FOMO's in right now because it's taking off. It doesn't necessarily mean it's just going to continue, but it does imply that there's potential, right? Again, potential realities in every scenario. So taking a look at TD sequential, we came up to a 9, we hit about 6 hours of continuation, and now we're right down to a 3. So realistically, we got at least somewhere in the range of 6 to 12 hours of continuation down. I'm personally, I believe we're going to see 65 or lower. That's just my personal opinion here based on the way things are trending here so far. Doesn't look like it's going to be able to sustain that price point, but again, wait until the candlestick closes, we'll find out. Take a look at Ichimoku Cloud. This is a case in point where it is technically telling us we don't want to close our long position. So in truth, this conservative indicator is saying, hey, we haven't hit that point yet. We got to recognize here, it moved up so fast, so quick that this, to wait another 6 hours to take profits may not be advantageous. If you have a long position open, close part of it, leave the rest open. That's really the bottom line. Take more than 50% of profit, let the rest ride, see what happens if this is a coin you want to invest in. I personally feel like we're going to see a price point lower. We're likely going to come down here to test this cloud and then break below. Again, stranger things can happen, but I've seen these kind of things happen quite consistently. I cover these kind of coins daily, and Aave just has a history of increasing and decreasing shortly after. So I don't know. 2 and 2 makes 4 to me. It doesn't make a lot of sense to invest in this coin right now. If you are invested, consider taking some profits. If you're considering getting in right now, perhaps a short might be more appropriate than a long, just based on extreme overextension, a lot of different time frames, and the fact that it has a history of doing the same thing it's doing right now. Okay? All right. I hope that makes sense for you. I described this correctly, and I hope that you do not take offense because I'm telling you what's going on with this coin. I do not care. I'm not biased towards any coin whatsoever. And I can tell you that a true trader will not care about the sentiment of a coin and attach themselves to a feeling. I hope you understand that and recognize that this is really just technical data. That's all it is. If you want better data and obviously more consistent, fundamental and technical analysis, consider jumping on over to our Twitter. We got some awesome feedback here. A great way to interact with our community, but just generally speaking, a great resource and outlet for us to be able to kind of get you some good information there. So be sure to check that out. Cash trading essentially is the link there. So hopefully you are able to find benefit there. And of course, if you want to become a better trader, cryptocash.tech is a site, link down below. Look forward to working with you. Have a great rest of your day. See you soon.